Hello and welcome to the 2023 MotoGP Esport Global Series. It's the second round of competition for this year. I'm Kiko Giles. I'm joined alongside me by Jack Gorse. But from now on, you can refer to us as Cafe Con Leche, and we'll let you figure out why. Coming up today, a fantastic array of action. 3 more circuits to go with the 3 that we had last time out. And really, you don't want to miss it. Of course, as ever, you can join the conversation across our social media platforms. And don't forget to join in all the fun there as well and keep up with the stars of the esports show. Jack, we can't wait to get racing this week again. It's going to be a mega championship. We've seen already the drama that can happen in round 1. Yeah. And round 2 is going to be more of the same. Yeah, it certainly is going to be. Thank you for the glowing intro and letting them in on our little, well, nickname secret, shall we say. Absolutely. But anyway, as it was done to us the other night. But it certainly is going to be a big round here at round 2. We have the Saxon Ring with Teggy and also Mandalika coming up for you. And of course, we'll have the first wet race of the Global Series for this season in Motegi 2. And that qualifying was quite dramatic indeed, as you see with the grid lining up in the end. But before we crack on with tonight, we of course need to round you through the championship standings as they are, because right at the top is the reigning, well, he's not the reigning champion anymore, but he is the GOAT of MotoGP Esport. Trastevere has come back with a vengeance in 2023. He sits on a full fat 50 points, not bad indeed, but just 5 behind is Adrian, the reigning champion. He hasn't won yet, but he was on the podium for all 3 of the races in round 1. And behind them is Jack Hammer, who tonight is on pole position for every single race. You can see there the rest of the runners. Shout out to Plat 1 for Life, who got 2 podiums on his debut Global Series round last time out. And you can see all the way down there to Keinster rounding us out in 11th place with just 11 points. So tonight then it is going to be a big one indeed, and we may as well crack on with it, because coming up we do have Saxon Ring. Saxon Ring, shortest track on our calendar, and of course we have the sprint format that replicates the real world of the MotoGP World Championship in 2023. And let's check out exactly what the Saxon Ring has for us in store in esports. It's only 3.6 kilometres in length, or 2.2 miles in British money. 10 left turns. It is left-hand heavy around here. 3 right turns. The German track is unique on the MotoGP Esport World Championship calendar. It's a sprint race. There's only 3 laps. It's short, it's sharp, and it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be eventful. Not a lot of overtaking opportunities. We know this track is going to be difficult. It's hard on tyres, and it's going to be very hard to make up ground if you've suffered a poor qualifying. Qualifying is everything, and Jack Hammer is on pole. Let's check out then to see what's happened. Everybody is under starters orders. We can't wait to get going with the German sprint race from the Saxon Ring. We are ready then to get underway for the sprint race here at the Saxon Ring in Germany. This place steeped in history. Jack Hammer on pole. Jack alongside him, second on the grid, Christian MM17 on the LCR Honda, and in third place the Ducati Daniele Aloe 26, a rookie this year. Yeah, doing some really good qualifying performances so far. Adrian, the reigning world champion, he launches from 4th, looking to keep that podium streak alive. Trastevere, the championship leader at the moment, is in 5th. And a shout out to Ike, a fantastic qualifying on the back of the second road in 6th. Home hero Keinster goes from the head of row 3 in 7th. 8th place for Spadalongo. He had a big crash in qualifying down in towards turn 1. And in the 9th position on the grid, Miki Raikko of Indonesia. Of course, he has a home Grand Prix coming up in this event as well. Plat 1 for Life, 2 podiums, but on the back of the grid so far, with Davide Teresi 11th there, rounding us out. So we're all ready to get underway. Can Jack Hammer convert pole position in Germany? The KTM rider from pole, red lights on. We go green, but it's a great start from the middle of the front row by Christian M17. Jack Hammer's gone backwards. He's engaged reverse, down in towards turn 1, Honda 1 and 2. Christian M17 ahead of his brother Adrian, so pushing and shoving all the way through the field. Jack Hammer trying to get his elbows down, they're coming down towards turn 3 in the Omega corner. Daniele Aloe's held 3rd place, Trast is up to 4th. But Jack Hammer, he's got a lot of work to do. It's only 3 laps of sprint race. Davide Teresi has gone down on the Prima Ducati, but out front, Honda's 1 and 2. Ducati's third. Fourth for the Yamaha. Trasty's got a lot of work to do with Jack Hammer in fifth.
So then Christian, he's fourth in the championship, but he does lead as he's looking to claw back some points on the rest of them at the head of the field. The Montenegro brothers then, they've certainly got something figured out for the start because they absolutely... Oh, Ike's gone down. He's crashed down a sig. That is a disaster because he made a solid start maintaining that position. Look at Trastevere there, almost riding up the back of Daniele Aloe. That's going to put him into the clutches of Jack Hammer. It does indeed, and Jack is already through. He's recovered a couple of positions from that bad start.
Oh, or as he's being pushed out, and that is getting your elbows out. Trask there, eager to take back fourth, and he does, and he blocks off Jack Hammer down into towards turn 13, the final corner. It's uphill here now, up towards the finish line. This is already one lap tick down, 2 to go on the penultimate one already. Christian M17 hasn't won a race yet this year, is looking to do so. Honda haven't won a race yet. He's indeed there, but he's going to bring it back for late apex. Daniele Aloe, 26, this is a good stuff from him. The Ducati power, not as crucial around here as perhaps at other circuits. Jack Hammer 4th, Trast in 5th. Kynes the home hero on the gas up to 6th. Spadalongo part 1 for life, Mickey Riker, Davide Teresi and Ike 13. That's the order so far. 2.3 seconds less than covers your entire field. And at the front, it is so close. The Montenegro brothers really having a pop at each other.
Drive.
And up the inside nearly. They're carrying the speed through their different lines of both the Hondas.
That's the last thing they'll want to do. They don't want to knock each other off. These two. Oh, Jack Hammer's getting busy on Daniele Aloe.
And he's got ahead of Trast as well.
He probably picked him off into turn 1 because Trast went in really hot into the final corner. That was extremely out on track limits there from Jack Hammer. That's once again going to put him into the clutches of Trastevere behind. That's, of course, where he got him on the last lap, but no such thing this time around. Jack goes a little bit deep. He'll get the cutback to get the drive, but it looks as though Trast has been able to pick his pocket once again. So for Jack Hammer, the pole man, it is going disastrously right now. I don't think that's a word, but anyway, it's going terribly so far. Oh, race leader's gone deep again. I wonder if Christian actually just likes that line because he's done it twice now.
Now, we've got the Omega. This is an overtaken opportunity, but no one's really close enough. Of course, the championship, Adrian is second as it stands in the championship and in this race. Trast, your championship leader, is only 4th, so the gap will come down, and it will come down to only 2 or 3 points. So we'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds. We're coming down through to complete the first half of this final lap on the Tissot sprint in Germany, and the Montenegro brothers are still leading the way. Jack, where is Adrian going to be looking to get through, and how important is it going to be to not knock him off and take each other out and give it to Daniele Aloe?
He's got, look at that, Trast has been picked off, but he's going to fight back once again on Jack Hammer. This is where they're going to make the run. They've got to make this run down the waterfall. You can see up ahead, Adrian is looking to the inside at turn 12. No, Christian shuts the door on his brother. He's got 1 corner to go.
Final corner. I don't think he's going to be close enough. He throws some dirt in his brother's face. Christian MM17, he's on indeed. They've both gone wide. The Ducati found Daniele Aloe. He's on 3rd place, but it is a win for Christian MM17. Fantastic stuff. The first for Honda, the first for one of the Montenegro brothers. Elated with that, it's a Montenegro brother 1-2 and a Daniele Aloe in 3rd.
So then we've got our 3rd different winner of the 2023 Global Series. It is Christian MM17. He wins from the reigning champion Adrian, who I think will be launched into lead of this championship by 3 points. Daniele Aloe finishes 3rd, the rookie, picking up his first podium. Congratulations to him. Trastevere 4th. Jack Hammer, the pole man, really not doing what he wanted to do here, finishing 5th. Kynes to 6th, Badalongo, Mickey Raiko, plat 1 for life from the back of the grid, picked up 2 positions into 9th. But Davide Teresi and Ike, unfortunately crashing out at 6th early on, finishes in 11th.
So after that, Jack, in stereo there, if you like, guys, we have got the highlights going to be prepared very, very soon. But what an interesting complexion that all has on the championship. And once again, as we've seen before, qualifying for Jack Hammer, not quite coming into a conversion of a race result, but of course we have 2 more races to go coming up. Motegi and Mandalika, 2 races in Asia coming up for you very, very soon. The German Grand Prix was always going to be fast and frenetic. The Saxon Ring short and sharp, as we said on intro, Jack, and we've got to say this was a great race right from the start.
Yeah, it really was. Absolutely fantastic race. You can see here that the Montenegro brothers, I don't know what they've put in that Honda, but they absolutely fired off the grid and led into turn one. Jack Hammer was left on the outside fending for his life, and he certainly fought hard. So did Trastavere there, almost riding up the back of Daniele Aloe. This was where Jack Hammer kept making mistakes. Twice Trastavere managed to pinch through on him, and ultimately it meant that the Italian finished fourth in the end. Christian MM17 out front. Well, he had pressure on the last lap, but he certainly did not crumble. He managed to ride it home for a fantastic victory. His first in some time, his first of 2023. He did go wide at the final corner, but he had just enough buffer to manage to ride this one out to the line and take home a fantastic victory.
Fantastic stuff all around, and if that is what we have got to look forward to for the rest of the second round of the Global Series and the rest of the year, we really are in for something a little bit special. I know we keep saying it, and we said it before in the first round, but that is exactly why we go racing in esports. We've got another race coming up though, so don't move anywhere. That is from Motegi, Japan. Difficult track. We saw in qualifying just how tricky that place can be, particularly in the wet. Another challenge, a new challenge for this year for the riders to get used to.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to have a wet race in Motegi coming up right now, and certainly in qualifying. We did see that the wet weather was maybe causing a bit more of a problem than we expected. But before we dive into exactly how the grid lines out, we of course need to run you through the race info. And Motegi is a really, really difficult one, Kiko. I'll let you run through this because you know exactly what the key points are.
Oh, thank you for throwing me under that big red bus that's coming my way. So it's about 5 kilometres in length, this place. Lots of heavy braking, the heaviest braking track on the calendar. Unlike the Saxon Ring, where track position is absolutely everything from the get-go in a 3-lap sprint race, this is going to be the Grand Prix style race, so it's a bit longer, and with long straights, hard braking, fast sweeping corners in the second sector and third sector, you can afford to get a bad start and then improve as the race goes on. Obviously, it's not ideal. Key overtaking opportunities into turn 11 towards the end of the lap and turn 10 just ahead of the back straight. The victory chicane, not normally one to really see late lunges, unless, of course, you're Andrea Dovizioso and Marc Marquez, Jack.
Exactly, yeah, and we have a wet race coming up, so it may well exactly turn out to be just like that. But of course, we do have 8 laps of Motegi coming up right now for you, and it is going to be a very, very interesting one indeed. You'll see very, very shortly that we have the top 3 in the championship right on that front row as well. So it's going to be a big one in kind of deciding how the pecking order does go forward. Jack Hammer is going to be on pole once again, but as we saw in the sprint race, Kiko, doesn't exactly mean that it's going to go well for him in that race. So then, we're going to Japan, and it is monsoon conditions. We'll see you in Motegi as we go racing. Here we go then for the grid of Motegi. Of course, it is Jack Hammer on pole position once again with Trastavere and Adrian on that front row as well. Daniele Aloe lines up in 4th. Christian MM17, your latest winner in 2023, is 5th. And Mickey Raiko, a fantastic qualifying from the Indonesian, he is in 6th.
Plat 1-5 heads up row 3 in 7th place, 8th place. And with work to do, Davide Teresi on another Ducati for Prima Pramac Racing, 9th. Keinster and Gasgas. Completing the top 10, we can expect to see a charge through the field from Ike 13, whilst at the back of the grid, and with work to do, Spanalongo qualified. Not a strong point this year, but we're all ready to go racing here at Motegi for an absolute belter in Japan. 8 laps ahead of us. Can Jack Hammer finally convert pole? How good will his start be? Will it be better than his one in Germany? It's a little bit lots of wheelie and coming through. That is Daniele Aloe. But Trust, who did a Super Bowl lap in qualifying, down has gone. You make, oh dear, we got crashes everywhere. Down has gone Christian M17. And we've got Daniele Aloe down there as well, I think, or was it Kites? I can't quite see. Trust is leading. He left it so late in qualifying. He did a proper Super Bowl lap. And he is out front. Wet weather conditions here, Jack, catching out lots of riders from the start.
So this is going to be interesting then. We saw in qualifying that I think Jack Hammer, what was he on pole by? Almost half a second in the end. So Jack Hammer is the one with the pace in the wet here at Motegi. But there has been time since qualifying, and Trast, although he was Not a disaster in qualifying. He did manage to pull out a front row lap in the end. It took him a long time to do so. So this one could tighten up. Let's see how we go.
Trust 73, Daniele Aloi second. We've got Keinster, who's at the back of this field with a warning for his on-track demeanour. And also we have got that Mickey Raikko, who is now in 5th place. He's also under warning. He's battling with Davide Torrisi. Torrisi, good start from him up from the 3rd row. He's up into 5th. Looking at Jack Hammer. Can he try and slither through on Adrian? Not from that far back, he can't. We're at turn 10.
So here we go then, launching onto the back straight for the first time. We're about to fire down into one of the most tricky braking zones on the MotoGP calendar, and we're doing it in the wet. Let's see if anyone has a little bit of an issue getting it stopped down into this dead stop right-hander, 90 degree. Oh, it looks as though everyone's just about got through there safe and sound, and we're going to be flicking through into the victory corner for the first time to complete lap 1, and it is Trastevere with half a second buffer. We didn't see this coming, but Trast is proving why he's the GOAT.
8 laps though, Jack. This is a long race and it's a lot of time for mistakes to creep in. We saw how tricky it was on the opening lap, but also throughout qualifying yesterday, mistakes were being made right the way through the 15-minute session. This race has not been decided just yet. So we're watching Adrian, the top Honda, Yamaha, Ducati, Honda, KTM, Ducati, Aprilia, the best Aprilia, in 8th place by Spadalongo. But Trust so far doing a good job. He's got just around, hovering between 6 and 7/10 of a second lead over Daniele Aloi. We're expecting more from Jack Hammer as this race progresses. And of course, dynamic weather this year, Jack. We could have, in fact, we are starting to see a bit of a dry line. This is the replay of the start though, Jack. Couple of incidents to talk us through.
Yeah, it looked as though Ike actually got a really good launch off the line. There you see Christian, the winner from the sprint race just a few minutes ago. Absolute disaster for him. He's not carrying that on. And it looks as though Keister just got the rear end out and then got hammered and just ended up right down the back of the field there. So we'll see exactly what those two can do to recover from that. But Christian, who's just lobbed himself back into this championship chase, now has a bit of a mountain to climb.
Keinster actually took out Christian, and then for taking Christian out, Keinster got nailed by Mickey Raikko. So what goes around comes around in the MotoGP Esport World Championship. Ooh, that was wide by Daniele Aloi, but I think he's just got it stopped. That might be the Ducati line, because we're looking at Davide Torrisi here in 5th place, and he's just carried himself a bit wide as well. Down towards this turn 11, the hardest break. Oh, and down comes Mickey Raikko, does he? Showing a wheel, no need to make too many reckless moves. Oh, it's so tight down there. It's squeezing the front brake for as long as it can hold on for. It is so treacherous in these conditions. Mickey Raikko in 6th, chasing down Davide Torrisi, but out front, Trast now building his lead. It's over 8/10 of a second.
And fastest lap of the race there as well for Trast, 1:48.328. He's barged that lead out, as Kiko says, to just about 8/10 of a second. Here is Christian looking to recover those places he lost with that first turn disaster. He's got Plat 1 for life ahead of him on the VR46 Ducati. Of course, Plat 1 for life, certainly no slouch this year. Already had 2 podiums in MotoGP Esports, so it's going to be a bit tricky for Christian to pick his way past the Ducati man.
On lap 3 of 8, let's just take you through the top orders at the moment. Trast, Daniele Aloi, Adrian, the top 3. Jack Hammer, who started pole, dropping to 4th and dropping further away from Adrian, who's occupying that final podium place. Davide Torrisi, as we've said before, in a battle with Mickey Raikko, they're 5th and 6th. Then it's Plat 1 for life, who is coming under increasing pressure from Christian MM17. Spadalongo, Ike 13, and Keinster in 11th, and rounding out your order. This is Trast, who looks like he is looking very smooth. He's looking he's made a lot of progress here from his qualifying. He didn't have an enjoyable qualifying at all. He had a bit of a nightmare, really. Left it so late to get a lap in. There was a couple of incidents. He was out wide. He was not able to get that banker lap in. He managed to put it on the front row, and how crucial was that?
So, Adrian has a reckless riding warning. So, I did see that the gap closed up to about a 10th between him and Daniele Aloi, so not too sure if there was maybe a little bit of contact there. Daniele Aloi did lose a lot of time to Trast on that lap as well. He was about 0.7 behind coming across the line last time, and it's now out to about 1.3. So maybe there was just a little bit of bumping and barging between the factory Ducati and Honda riders. What it has done, though, is meant that Trast, with that 1.3 buffer, is smooth sailing at the front. This is unbelievable from his turnaround in qualifying. Qualifying, he was really struggling to get to grips with the Motegi circuit in the wet conditions, but here no one can live with him.
Half race distance, Jack, and that lead of Trast is now coming up to 1.5 seconds very, very soon, unless a mistake from Trast or Daniele Aloe can really get the magnets out. I think we're looking at the race win for the Yamaha rider, the rider who wants to take back that championship lead. He wants to extend the championship lead if he can. We're looking at Adrian, 26, very, very focused, determined to try and get through on that big factory Ducati ahead of him. Factory Ducati and Repsol Honda battling around Motegi in the wet. We've seen that somewhere before.
Yeah, we certainly have. So keep an eye out on this last lap coming up in just a few laps' time, because it could be a little bit of a blockbuster. You have to say that Adrian looks like he's got maybe just a fraction more pace than Daniele Aloe, the rookie, on the factory Ducati ahead of him. But it's really not enough to be able to barge past him. You know, every time he closes in, it looks as though Daniele Aloe's just got enough to keep that 2/10 buffer that he needs to stop Adrian from flying up the inside. But this will be somewhere. Oh, and just as we say that, Daniele Aloe has gone wide. Is Adrian going to pinch through? It does indeed look like he has done. So, after looking cool, calm and collected for 3.5 laps, or 4.5 laps should I say, now Daniele Aloe is pushed back to 3rd place. You can see there the rookie. That's the first time we've seen him on screen so far in 2023 Global Series, doing a fine job, but now he has to be careful that Jack Hammer will be wanting to do the same as Adrian.
It looks rather stony-faced as well, not happy with that mistake at turn 10, so we're coming to the end of... We're coming into the second half of this race, the end of the first half, lap 5 now. So, Adrian into second. Wow, that Ducati moving around everywhere. It's moving so much, it's almost got changed its postcode, I think, there. 4th place for Jack Hammer now. He's going to be a believer. Daniele Aloe will be looking now really to hold on to that 16 points all he's on for. He's missing apexes everywhere at the minute. Jack Hammer won't need a second opportunity. Jack Hammer is in this title race this year. If he can polish up his races as much as he's polished up his 1-lap pace, he'll be right there. But out front at the moment, Trast, the goat is grazing in Japan.
The goat is grazing indeed. We've seen Jack Hammer then steely focus there from the young Brit. He'll be very, very keen to get past Daniele because, of course, the two in the championship that are ahead of him are 1st and 2nd right now. So it's an absolute... Platform for Life has gone down. He's crashed out of 7th place. We'll see where that shakes out in the order. I think he might maintain in 10th because Ike 13 is, was a little bit behind. He does actually go behind. Oh, we do have... Christian has a warning for a long lap penalty, so he's got 1 more strike left on his report card, and if he does that, then he will be firing down into the long lap area, as though Jack Hammer now is really applying the pressure to Danny.
Oh, wide at turn 10, but not enough that time around, so Jack Hammer really looking to try and see if he can find a way through on the Ducati. This second half of the lap is where the Ducati has looked a little bit vulnerable, and the KTM is always coming into its own as this race goes on. We saw Jack Hammer with good late race pace in the Global Series first round, and is he dragging Davide Torres? Oh, the inside, surely not. 67, Jack Hammer had a massive think about it, and that's kind of rolling to the back of Daniele Aloe there, and they definitely are bringing Davide Torres along with him now.
He's got to run, a little bit of slipstream coming down the start straight. Doesn't look like he's going to get through here unless he keeps it a little bit tight. Maybe he'll get the run. Oh, hey, look at the gap at the front. It's only 2/10. Trast must have made a massive mistake, but anyway, the battle for 3rd is still raging on. Jack Hammer, he's right alongside him now, down into turn 2. Is he going to dive on the inside? Squeezes him on the apex, but Jack Hammer looks like he is through.
Good move, he just ghosted his way through there, put his bike in a position where Daniele Aloe just could not respond to him. And that is a slick move from Jack Hammer, the 67 up into 3rd place. But out the front, we need to see the battle for the front because Trast is under pressure from Adrian. Adrian is absolutely chasing down Trast here with 2.5 laps to go.
Plus, look at those long lap penalty warnings. We've got 4 strikes out of 5 for Trastevere on his track limits report card. So if he does 1 more, he will be firing down into that long lap penalty loop, and that will surely mean his chances of victory are over. Of course, Trastevere looking for his 3rd win of the Global Series this season already if he does manage to convert this one. But Adrian hasn't won yet.
And what did we say about Jack Hammer? If he polishes up his races, performances, he might be in contention. If these two tangle out front, Trast and Adrian, he might be right there anyway.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens now as we're going to have 2 laps to go as we come across the line this time round. It looks as though Trast has just weathered the storm for now. The gap was right down to less than 2/10, but it's back up to that kind of almost comfortable buffer of 4 or 5 tenths. But it's not a happy feeling when you look behind you and you see the reigning world champion right there. Although he did make a little bit of a mistake there. That wasn't the cleanest run out onto the start straight. So 2 to go then for Trast. He has to be perfect now.
He does, and look at that steely focus there, which we see Trast looking right down the barrel of another victory in the 2023 Global Series as we try and come through. Adrian, half a second, he's within striking distance with if Trast makes another mistake. Let's see if that happens. Jackhammer, he's got third in a minute. It's not all over. If you look at the background of shot, you will see that Daniele Aloe has definitely not given up just yet.
You can see there the tyre graphic that was in the bottom right hand of the screen. There's absolutely no rear tyre left for Trast, so it's not much of a wonder as you see them wiggling around every time they tip into the corner. That tyre is struggling, and as a result we have seen lap times drop off just a fraction. So this one could well be who has just that fraction more rear tyre left as we go down into the final closing stages.
And don't forget as well, a bit of moving around on the bike, if that pushes you out wide and over the curbs and onto the green, Trast absolutely cannot afford for that to happen. So he's got to be so gentle on the power. He can't allow for any mistakes here. It's got to be the perfect last sector and a whole lap to go at Motegi. Adrian contrastingly wide out wide.
Time there.
Adrian contrastingly, unless he hits the green 4 times between now and the end of this race, is not going to be troubled with a long lap. So Adrian, very, very clean. He's late on the brakes there as well.
Extremely late.
You can almost tell Trast is tensed up a bit here. He knows that Adrian's right there, but he's doing well so far.
I tell you what, it's 1 lap to go, and Adrian is winding the wick up here. He's closed right in. It's back down to 0.2 of a second as we fly onto the final lap. We're in for a grandstand finish with Adrian, the reigning world champion, and Trastevere, the 3-time eSport world champion. Who's it going to be out of the factory Yamaha or the factory Honda?
Battle of the Japanese manufacturers for Japanese honours at home. Trast leads so far by 1/4 of a second, down in towards this heavy braking area. We've seen Adrian so good in the braking areas. Trast goes in early, just about gets it stopped, but Adrian's got so much more tyre. He's able to hold those tighter lines down. They're coming down one of the many back straights here at Motegi, down towards another heavy braking area, and again Adrian's right there. Trast so far, he lost it a little bit in the middle of the corner. That is not going to help him on this run under the bridge and back out into this fast S's section.
Right then, we're into the S's section. Adrian has to make up a couple of attempts here if he wants any chance at victory. He's got to be absolutely 100% perfect. We go on board with him now as we flick right. This one's tighter than you think. Be patient with the throttle, especially with that rear tyre. It's absolutely gone. The gap is still almost around 4 tenths. I don't think this is going to be enough. We're about to come onto the back straight. Can he close in enough to be able to strike in this last sector?
Turn 10 is where we've seen mistakes made before. Trast, will he get it stopped and anchored up this time? Oh, he's perfect. The most perfect he's been in this entire race at turn 10. He knew how important that would be. So, unless late braking by Adrian down in towards this dead stop 90-degree right-hander at turn 11, unless he can really close in and then for an attack in the chicane maybe that ends this lap. I don't think it's going to happen. It's been a great ride by Trast. A little bit of pressure at the end, but he's resisted it well. We're into the final chicane. I can't see any change. Trast is going to take victory here in Japan. Yamaha are going to be top Japanese dog in Japan. He celebrates already. Trast takes victory ahead of Adrian. Jackhammer is in 3rd place by the looks of it, ahead of Davide Teresi, who pinches 4th and top Ducati honours. But Trast is your race winner.
So it will be once, twice and 3 times a winner in 2023 for Trastevere 73. The GOAT of eSport has done it again this season with Adrian, the reigning world champion. That hunt for a first race victory in 2023 goes on, but he is whacking in those podiums, so certainly his championship challenge is looking good. We'll have to see how the standings shake out after this one, because it's going to be close. Jack Hammer finishes third after being on pole for this one as well. Not too bad, but he'll still be a little bit disappointed. Davide Teresi finishes fourth, and Daniele Aloe finishes fifth in the end after running second early on. Miki Raikko in sixth. Good job from him. I think that's his best result so far for the Indonesian. Christian MM17 rounds out. So here we go then. This is the championship standing, and it's 7 points is the gap between Trastevere and the reigning champion, Adrian, 26. Behind them, Jack Hammer's now 26 behind, and it's going to be tricky for him to make up that ground, Kiko.
It really is. Jack Hammer, the pole hound this year, needed a bit of a special result. He needs a victory, really. But Jack Hammer, he's being closed down by Christian MM17. Trasto, your championship leader, by 7 points ahead of Adrian. And
so,
what a belter that was. Yeah. I tell you, that was an absolute thriller. And we knew the wet weather was going to be something special, Jack. We knew it was going to cause a bit of chaos. We didn't expect that result, though.
No, we definitely didn't. We did certainly think that maybe Jack Hammer would have a little bit more to him than that. I mean, obviously, there he showed good pace. He didn't really lose much time to the front two once he managed to pinch through into that third place. But still, it was a very, very tricky race for Jack Hammer. And I'm sure that as we go to Indonesia after this, he'll be looking to make up that ground. So then, we have Indonesia coming up next, don't we? But before that, we do need to check out the highlights.
We have Indonesia coming up. Not on the far journey to go from Japan, I must say. But look at that start at 67, wheeling down towards turn one. And we saw a little bit of chaos down here in the early stages. This is the highlights of the Japanese MotoGP Esport World Championship. First major race of the second round. Christian MM17 getting barged out of the way. Also Keinster by Miki Raikko. Keinster getting a warning for that on-track behaviour down at turn one. Trast got the early hole shot after a fine start. And although Daniele Aloe was initially up into second place, Adrian had the magnets on, and that was really one of the major stories of this race so far, Jack.
Yeah, it certainly was. You can see here that Adrian was closing in, and it was this crucial mistake from Daniele Aloe that started the unravelling of his race. Running strongly in second in the first half, and then unfortunately slipping down to fifth in the end. A little bit further back, there was some battling that we didn't see. Miki Raikko making a fantastic move under platform for life. That and a little bit of bumping and barging, fighting back it in, so some good barging and racing between the two satellite Ducatis. This was Jack Hammer's move on Daniele Aloe. He'd been working on this for a few laps and just managed to get it stopped, hold the apex, and put in a nice block pass on the factory Ducati to steal that third place and a podium for him in 2022 round two. Trastevere then into the final lap. There was definitely pressure from Adrian, but it wasn't enough as Trastevere held on for a fantastic victory.
What a dramatic race that MotoGP Esport doesn't ever fail to deliver. And that was Motegi. That's just the second race of our calendar here, of the second round of the Global Series. We've still got one belter to come. Mandalika, Indonesia. Jack, we know it's one of our favourite tracks. It's a technical track, this one, because it's new.
Yeah.
And it always provides different challenges.
Yeah, it certainly does. We saw how tricky that it was in qualifying. We saw that some of the gaps between the esport riders may be a little bit bigger than what we usually expect, and that is because Mandalika is so tricky. It's a little bit one line. If you get a nice run through some area, you can gain 1/10, 2/10 up until the next corner. So certainly a very tricky one indeed. So then Mandalika, as we do say, it is a bit of a new one, so we'll run you through all the race info that you need to know. The Mandalika International Street Circuit then, 4.3 kilometers in length with 11 right turns, and I believe, is it 6? Is it 7? It's 6. Look at that. Got it right the first time.
Well
Shouldn't have doubted myself. 6 left turns as well, and some of those are extremely important indeed, particularly if you want to do a little bit of a last corner dive bomb at turn 17 there. One of the crucial areas to get right is this tricky flip-flop section that is in Sector 2 at 7, 8 and 9. The run down to turn 10, a heavy braking zone there and a good overtaking opportunity as well. Coming through here in Sector 3 is particularly tricky. You've got to carry the speed, but it's all about the last sector and that never-ending braking on the side of the tyre all the way down into turn 16. It's going to be a very tricky one indeed, but Mandalika should provide the goods.
17 corners, and it was only built in 2021. It was inaugurated by World Superbike, and it has been a staple on World Championship motorcycle racing activity calendars ever since. It's a really technical track, so let's stop talking about it. Let's check it out. Let's go racing.
So, Mandalika then, the last race of the second round of the 2023 Global Series. It's going to be an interesting one, but once again, it is Jack Hammer that's on pole position. Can he finally convert it to P1? We'll wait and see. Davide Teresi, fantastic stuff from the rookie, qualifying second, and another rookie, Daniele Aloe, third, who just got his first podium. Oh no, he didn't. He got it in the sprint earlier on. There you go.
Depends on what order you're watching all this. Fourth place was Tras, fifth was Adrian, sixth was Christian MM17. Don't forget he was a sprint winner back in Germany.
Platman for Life is seventh on the grid. He's had a little bit of a difficult round this one. Let's see how he rounds it out. Keinster, the German, is eighth, and Spadalongo rounds us out of the third row of the grid in ninth.
10th place for Ike 13. 11th, local hero, Mickey Raikko, looking to make of something special. Let's see if he can do it at his home circuit. Hopefully he doesn't crumble under the pressure. We are under starters orders. Can Jack Hammer convert pole position? He hasn't done so far. It's a better start, but Davide Teresi is going to lead a race for the first time in the Global Series. Down into the braking area of turn late on the brakes. Deary me. Oh, deary me. Jack Hammer is being pushed right out. Adrian came through. Black One for Life came through. Trusty's coming back on the track now. So we will see what the race directions say about that. We've got riders absolutely everywhere, but Davide Teresi has kept it wheels in line and in motion. He's leading Jack.
So once again then, Jack Hammer has had a little bit of a dreadful start all the way back to fifth, although I think he's just barged through on Spadalongo, who's made a good start from ninth, I think he was. So the Aprilia man has made a very exuberant start on the first lap. As now we see Trastevere, the championship leader, dive up the inside of Adrian, the reigning champion. Has he gone a little bit wide? Yes. He has. Adrian gets him on the cutback.
Adrian there, not taking it lying down. Tras tried to be late on the brakes, couldn't get it stopped and anchored up at turn 10. Leading now out front, Davide Teresi. Who would have seen this one coming when we kicked off in Global Series round one? On the green there from Tras. He's pushing hard. Jack Hammer, how many times? Pole and then back to fourth. That seems to be the trend we're seeing. This is that tricky turn 15 into dead stop hairpin, turn 16. It all gets congested. Short burst into another hairpin as Tras and Jack Hammer going head to head here. This is at the final corner. Run onto the straight. Jack Hammer's got
him.
Tras 17, your championship leader, back off the podium and into fourth. Jack Hammer on a charge. Yeah,
Jack Hammer in qualifying yesterday, that was one of the areas where he highline and handsome.
Really seen his
was
mum in
that
the crowd.
Spadalongo? I think it was. Spadalongo's gone, across an international border with that line. He's gone absolutely miles away. So Jack Hammer then, Christian MM17 is getting busy now on Trastevere as well. So Trast is coming under all sorts of pressure as Daniele Aloe is looking, that's a great move. Unbelievable dives from the inside at turn 6. Christian MM17,
this is rugby. This is a MotoGP eSport. This is rugby. Christian MM17 getting his elbows out. Look at Daniele Aloe. The Ducatis are they're making the Yamaha, they're meeting the sandwich. Spadalongo, by the way, after he did cross that Jack Gorst international border, is down in 11th. So he went the Spadalongo way. That was for sure. Trast up to 5th, then he's somehow managed to calm himself down. But Jack Hammer, just off screen, is about 2/10 away from Adrian, and it's getting close.
We'll see what he can do, because this last sector, as I was about to say before it all kicked off on this lap, is where Jack yesterday in qualifying was extremely strong. It's an absolute chaos. Someone's been barged. Who's gone down? Who was that?
One for Life. He was getting his elbows out. Yellow flag being waved frantically by the marshals in the background. That was Black One for Life. He tried pushing and shoving his way through on Trast, who somehow ended up back to 6th. And Keinster's up to 5th.
Change for second place.
I think
Jack Hammer has gone through on Adrian, so the pole man is on the move. It looks as though this time he is going to try and capitalize. And it's free abreast down into turn 2. Are you sure? Trastevere, he's going to hang on for 5th somehow. But look at this gaggle behind. And suddenly Mickey Raikko, from last on the grid, is up into 6th place. The home hero is making a hell of a show of it here. As once again, though, Daniele Aloe is going to come through on 2 of them. Surely not. Barges Keinster out of the way.
tell
and
you
he's up
something.
into 6th.
This isn't a battle, this is a war. This is incredible. Mickey Raikkonen is he's looking for top 5 here.
Oh.
Trust 73. I mean, he's your championship leader. You won't believe what kind of mayhem he's ended up in. Here is Mickey Raikkonen. Oh, short shift. Didn't get that on the rev range. Keinster trying to find his way through, but this is the best we've seen of Mickey Raikkonen so far in his home Grand Prix. The Indonesian looking to do something special, and wow, is he delivering. Just up ahead of him, Daniele Aloe on the Ducati. He's still closing back in on Trust. Trust is having an absolute nightmare. He's having a disaster here, and he's going to get coming through turn 15. Surely, what a move that was. Daniele Aloe did down and out and wide has gone Keinster. We're taking about 3 different lines here. Deary me, Trust, and again Trust is so quick in the middle of the corner, it compromises everything on the way in and on exit. Mickey Raikkonen is going to be taking your championship leader in this break. The crowd are going to go mad.
Well, you say championship leader, but if it finishes like this, he won't be the championship leader for much longer. Adrian is up in that 3rd spot, and what was he? He was only 7 points back, so this could get worse for Trastevere with a home hero all over the rear end of that Yamaha M1. We'll see how this shakes out over the next 4 laps.
It's like in real life, Jack, if you get mired down the field, and you're racing with riders you don't normally race with, they will not take prisoners. They are absolutely all over Trust, and he just can't seem to get any rhythm. Mickey Raikkonen, he's all over him like a set of overproofs. Lord, no, not this time. I don't think so. Good on the front. Whoa!
Keinster's gone wide again.
Keinster's gone wide again. Trust is still hanging. Look at me shoveling him along. Mickey Raikkonen is giving the Yamaha the extra horsepower it needs, not in the way that Yamaha won.
We want to talk about Davide Teresi, the rookie out front that looks like he might well win his first Global Series race, but we can't turn away from this because it's too good to watch. Unbelievable action. As now Ike's trying to get involved as well, the Malaysian. He's trying to pinch his way through up into possible top 6 finish. That would be one of his strongest finishes in the Global Series. Here we go then. This is the leader coming across the complete half race distance. He's hung on for now, but he's got the pole man, Jack Hammer, hunting him down.
And fastest lap of the race from Jack Hammer. It's Hammer time for Jack Hammer. Davide Teresi, he's in a red zone, that is for certain, but he is out front leading ahead of Jack Hammer, who is with 2 track limits warnings as well. Adrian, who is in championship contention, is the highest placed main contender. He's in 3rd ahead of his brother Christian. Daniele Aloe 5th. Trust 73 has still got Mickey Raikkonen for company as we watch your championship leader. Now race leader. Now we switch to the 67. No, it's not Shaky Bird. It is Jack Hammer.
Mickey Raikkonen's got a reckless riding warning there from our race director, so he's got to be a little bit careful now, has the home hero. The Indonesian in 7th is under the watchful eye of the race director.
He is, and he can't afford to make any more of that because he is looking at a top 6 finish here, and he's looking at getting a massive scalp in Trust 73. Trastevere, really, I can't believe after what's happened. I mean, he never looked like he had great pace in qualifying, but he didn't look like he was suffering this much. I think he's a bit of a rolling roadblock. He's so far behind, we can't even see him. This is the replay of how Jack Hammer got into 2nd.
So we got the slipstream then on the front straight, and look at that, already had the move done before he got down into turn 1. Didn't even go wide there, so certainly a beautiful move there from the young Brit Jack Hammer. And is that gap coming down? Well, we can't quite tell because we haven't got the gaps for some reason in this one, but to me it looks as though he's holding station. So Davide Teresi, the rookie, he's got the pace. Spadalonga
has crashed. It doesn't say which country he was in when he crashed. Here are the gaps then. Jack Hammer, let's stand 9/10 of a second behind Davide Teresi, but Adrian is also right there as well. This race is building into a grand finale. We can see further down Mickey Raikkonen still only a 10th and a half behind Trust. Trust is 1.9 away from a top 5. This is an absolute disaster for the Italian.
Yeah, Trastevere and his backpack, Mickey Raikkonen down there. Look at that, he's under a 10th as well now. So could be a potential move. But no, look, he's got a lovely run through turn 7 and 8. Is he going to do him now down into turn 10?
Yes, he is.
Barge through, does he get it stopped? No, he's gone well deep. But can he cover it off? Yes, he has covered it off to stay ahead of Ike behind.
This is
the onslaught goes on. Here we go. Is he going to look at the inside? No, he doesn't. So Trust lives to fight another lap.
Mickey Raikkonen is giving a massive headache here to the 73 of Trust. Trust so far just about holding on. He's looking a little bit calmer than he was. Look at the focus from the home mirror. Oh, he's out wide there. He's on the top back race, got the old blue line from 2 years ago. And Mickey Raikko's gone wide as well. That's bringing in Ike 13 as well. This is not quite a home ride for him, but it's as close as he's getting so far in this season to a home ride. He is looking down the barrel of the top 6 too. Mickey Raikko, nothing wrong with the top speed of that Ducati, but on the brakes, the Yamaha's got it.
Absolutely nothing wrong with the top speed of it. I tell you what, Kiko, I've been looking at this gap between the race leader and second place Jackhammer. It was up around 9/10 at the start of the lap before. It is now half a second. So Jackhammer is on the prowl, and so is Mickey Raikkonen. I told you he was a backpack. He's all over him again. Is he going to get the run through this flip-flop section at 7, 8 and 9? You bet he is. Look at this. We're going to dive into it now. There's the right. Throw it over on the left. Get the run now. And it's going to be extremely close again. Will he look to the inside or just go around the outside instead? Boy, he is all over him.
He's going to go up the inside, outside, or through the middle at this rate. Mickey Raikkonen, you get the feeling that nothing is going to come in between him and the top 6. This could end in tears, and I'm not on about lockdowns either. This is through turn 13, and the S's that bring this lap to an end. All over him is Ike 13 as well. Trash 73 is a rolling chicane at the minute. He's a mobile roadblock as they come through turn 14. This is down towards 15. Crowd are going wild. That's because they want to see Mickey Raikkonen deliver the goods at home. Trass on that wide line again. Mickey Raikkonen. Oh, Trass has gone very wide now then. This is as they're coming on to the final lap of this race. Mickey Raikkonen, this is the closest he's been. Out front. Oh, nerves creeping in now for Davide Teresi as Jackhammer starts breathing down his neck. He's so close you can smell his perfume.
Well, the same goes for the Montenegro brothers behind, because Christian is all over the back of his world champion brother Adrian. But it looks as though at the minute, Mickey Raikko's through on Trass. We can see on the timing tower that he has managed to pinch him, so I presume he did that with the help of a little bit of slipstream and then did him on the brakes down into turn 1.
Good move then, if that is the case by Mickey Raikkonen. The Montenegro runners side by side. Oh, Adrian's a bit offline here. Christian's going to have a run in him down towards overtaking hot spot on turn 10. He's on the inside, he's having a look, but he's friendly at the moment. He'll go into his mother's bedroom later and barge around the way there instead. At the front, Jackhammer, I was just about to say, has he's one away from a track limits warning, but he's not really close up there. It's going to make too much of a difference unless Davide Teresi gets it all tied in knots in the final sector. We are coming through to end what has been a fabulous Indonesia Grand Prix. Oh dear!
Here we go.
He headbutted the machine.
Track limits.
That'll be track limits. Christian MM17 doesn't care about his banner then, so that's official. Through turn 15.
Daniele Lowe. He's going to look on the inside.
Oh, front end is crying under pressure there. Christian MM17, will he have a look back? He has to think about it, he can't do it, but out front, Davide Teresi with a first race victory. Fantastic for the Prima Pro. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ike 13 has crashed on the last lap. Trust, in the end, holds on to sixth there of Mickey Raikkonen. What a battle that must have been.
Well, what an absolute corker there. But it was cool, calm and collected for the rookie. Davide Teresi wins his first Global Series race. Congratulations to him. That's going to rocket him up the standings, I am sure. Jackhammer finally has a decent result from pole position. Gets at that second place, just a third of a second behind the winner of Adrian third. Daniele Aloe fourth in the end. Just pinches Christian, who actually had the fastest lap of the race. Trast, well, what an unbelievable race that was for Trast. Bumping and barging everywhere. Does indeed get the better of Mickey Raikkonen, the home hero, who finishes a strong 7th. Plat 1 for life, Spadalongo, Ike and Keister, who had a long lap penalty, rounds us out. What a race. What a race that was then, eh, Kiko? That was an absolute corker. And we're sure that we'll see how that shakes out in the championship standings very, very shortly indeed. But you have to hand it to Davide Teresi. Did a fantastic job there.
He really did. And Davide Teresi, one of the riders to watch, you've got to say, for the rest of this year. That's esports, though. It is completely unpredictable. Look, one of the championship leaders going into that, Trash 73, was actually the slowest rider on the track. He set the slowest lap time of anyone in terms of their fastest laps. So work to do for Trash around Indonesia. But we're going to check out the highlights now, Jack. And Where's our full race?
Yeah, I know. Where do you start with these highlights? So, well, our editor's probably done a little bit of magic, and we'll see how that goes. So, Jack Hammer then from pole position. A better start, the best of the night out the three that we did see. But look at Adrian and Trastevere on the brakes, down into turn one. Absolute demons. And then even, who was that? Was it the VR46 rider?
It was,
Flat One for Life. Barging out as well. Everyone rejoining the track. And then all chaos ensued from here. Bumping, barging, track limits. They all just went for it, essentially. But Davide Teresi got the start, and that was all she wrote for him as he rode it home for victory.
Any other rider who's taken a first win in MotoGP esports would probably have a bit more of the highlights, but there was so much going on. Tras 73, for example, it didn't look like he had a podium contending pace in qualifying, but he didn't look like he was going to suffer this much. He got absolutely muscled out of the way. That was by Christian MM17. This is the move for second that took Jack Hammer up into the lead. Or into second, sorry, ahead of Adrian. This was one of many attempts by Mickey Raikko in early, out wide. Trast had it back. That was a bit of racecraft and experience there from our main title contender, the three-time champ, GOAT. Although he wasn't GOAT in Indonesia, that is for certain. Christian MM17 on the last lap, tried a bit too hard, I think, to overcome his brother. In the end, Daniele Lowe got it stopped and turned and under him, down in towards the final corner. But it was an absolute majestic win for the Premier Pramac racing team of Davide Teresi, the race winner.
Yeah, fantastic result then for Davide Teresi, and that means he's the fourth different winner that we have had in the Global Series this year. So certainly it is pretty much up for anyone. Anyone can do and can win so far, as we are seeing. But we need to see how that all shakes out in the championship standings, because I think it should be Adrian at the top. With that consistency, still hasn't won yet, but Adrian with those podiums should be right on top of the standings.
Here we are then.
Oh, it's not. It's 1 point.
Wow, 1 point in it. Tras 73, 91 plays 90 by Adrian, and that second place by Jack Hammer brings him right into contention, 16 behind. Christian, with his sprint win in Germany, moves up to 4th. Davide Teresi, 1 point behind him in 5th. Daniele Lowe completing the top half dozen. Flat One for Life, Spadalongo. Mickey Raikko with a strong home result in Indonesia is 9th, ahead of Keinster, the German, in 10th. And Ike 13, a story of what could have been after crashing out in the race there at Mandalika.
So then, the championship standings are quite spicy indeed. Just 1 point between two of our titans of the Global Series, and then Jack Hammer, actually in the end, I think he finishes the night on the exact amount of a gap behind the leader as he started the night. So certainly nothing to lose, nothing to gain there for Jack Hammer, but I'm sure he'll be a little bit frustrated that he couldn't close that gap. Anyway, we need to interview our championship leader, and it is Trastevere at the minute. Trastevere, what can we say about that Indonesian race? That looked like total chaos for you.
Hello guys, welcome back. Happy to see you again here to talk with you for the second time, but it's difficult to be happy because I've done one of the most worst mistake of all my life here in MotoGP esports. I wronged the front tires, so the bike was impossible to drive. My best lap was like 1 second faster, so I could be there for fight for the win, sure, or the podium, sure. It's a big shame. It's difficult to be happy, but in Motegi, I've done the most concentrated, focused, and beautiful race of all my life, maybe in the wet condition. Adrian was very fast behind me, but in the last two laps it was impossible to drive. The bikes moved a lot, spin everywhere, so it was very difficult to close a lap in the end, and I was really happy for that race, happy also for succeeding, but this type of mistakes we can't do. These type of mistakes if we want to fight for the championship. So I'm not happy. But it's okay, and I'm happy to be in front of the standings again, and now keep an eye on the next races.
And what about the level of MotoGP eSport this year, Trast? I mean, you've been here now plenty of years and with plenty of success, but this is competitive. I mean, that whole race, as we were saying, Miki Raikko, a rookie this year, was giving you a hard time. It is really hard at the moment to be successful every single race in MotoGP eSport, isn't it?
Yeah, no, the level is very high. There are many rookies that are very fast, but remember, I had the front tire, the medium tire, the medium tire on the front tire, so it was impossible to drive the bike. But in general, the level is very high this year. Very congratulations to Davide Turrisi for his incredible winning. And anyway, yes, every time, every race, there are one rider different that can make a difference. I can be there in the front of the grid. So it's crazy, and I'm happy for this. So it's a good championship, a very, very nice championship. I'm happy, but with myself, I'm hungry. But it's okay.
Well, Tras, don't worry about that because you are still top of the standings. And congratulations tonight. Of course, as you say, the Indonesian race was difficult, but we'll see you next time out. And speaking of next time out, it is going to be one hell of an event for us as well because we have some very interesting tracks coming up. But Kiko, really, we have to say about tonight as well that obviously we've seen Davide Turrisi come to the fore. We saw Christian MM17 pick up that sprint victory. I mean, who are we looking at next that might win? Maybe Daniele Aloe. We've seen him be fast.
With 3 different tracks, Jack, coming up, again, different conditions are going to come into it. You've got to start thinking now that we're in this season. It's unpredictable. We can look at patterns from years gone by and see Tras and Adrian and Jack Hammer going to be there, but not every race is going to be like that. And that's the beauty of esports at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's been fantastic so far. And coming up next for us at round 3 of the Global Series, we have Portimao, Phillip Island, and the Chang International Circuit in Thailand. 3 fantastic tracks, 3 very, very different tracks. Of course, Phillip Island, a complete staple of Grand Prix competition. But really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are as well.
Can't wait. Phillip Island's going to be an absolute belter. But until then, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Kiko Giles, joined by Jack Gorse, Cafe Con Leche as you will, and if you might. And until then, thanks for joining us. See you next round for round 3 of the 2023 MotoGP Esport Global Series. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.